Hello students, let us start today's lecture. Today's lecture is on computer hardware. Students, as you know, to qualify any examination, four things are important. First is syllabus, second is static and current affairs, third is previous year questions and mock test, and fourth is lecture. Let us start. Hardware. Hardware refers to the physical components of a computer system that you can touch and see. These components work together to process, store, and output. Here are brief explanation of some key hardware components. Central Processing Unit (CPU), the brain of the computer that processes instructions from software and performs calculation. Motherboard, the main circuit board that connects all hardware components, including the CPU, RAM, and storage devices. Random Access Memory (RAM), temporary storage used by CPU to store data that is actively being used or processed. Hard drive (HDD), solid state drive (SSD), long-term storage for data, programs, and the operating system. SSD are faster and more reliable than HDDs. Power Supply Unit (PSU), supplied electricity to the computer's component. Graphical Processing Unit (GPU), handles rendering of images, video, and animation, especially important for gaming and video editing. Input device, hardware like keyboard, mouse, scanner that allow users to interact with the computer. Output devices, components like monitor, printer, and speakers that provides feedback to the users in the form of visual, sound, or printed material. Cooling system, fans are liquid coolers used to keep the CPU and other components at an optimal temperature. Hardware forms the foundation of a computer, where software provides the instructions that the hardware executes. Here are the key functions of the hardware. Processing, done by the CPU and sometimes the GPU. Storage, provided by the RAM, temporary, and HDD or SSD, long-term communication, managed via network hardware. Input-output, ensuring by peripherals like keyboard, mouse, monitor, or printer. Together, these components form the physical backbone of a computer, allowing the system to operate software and interact with the users. Let us see MCQs related to hardware. Question number 1. What is the function of the CPU? A. Store data permanently. B. Process and execute instruction. C. Manage network connections. D. Control power supply to other components. The correct answer is B. Process and execute instructions. Let us see the explanation. The CPU, Central Processing Unit, is responsible for processing data and executing instructions from programs. Let us see question number 2. Which of the following is an example of an output device? Mouse, monitor, keyboard, microphone. The correct answer is monitor. A monitor is an output device that displays visual information from the computer to the users. Let's see question number 3. What is the primary purpose of a motherboard? To store the operating system, to connect and allow communication between all hardware components, to manage power supply, to cool the system. The correct answer is B. To connect and allow communication between all hardware components. Explanation is the motherboard is the main circuit board that connects the CPU, RAM, storage device, and other hardware components, enabling them to communicate. Let's move to the question number 4. What unit is used to measure the speed of a processor? A. Hertz, B. Bytes, C. Pixels, D. Watts. The correct answer is Hertz. Processor speed is measured in Hertz, typically GHz, indicating how many circles it can execute per second. Question number 5. Which hardware component is responsible for rendering graphics? A. CPU, B. RAM, C GPU, D SSD. The correct answer is C GPU. The graphical processing unit GPU handles rendering of images, videos and animation, especially important for tasks like gaming and graphical design. Let's move to the question number 6. Which device provides power to all components in a computer system? A. Motherboard, B. Power supply unit PSU, C. Cooling system and D. Hard drive. The correct answer is B. Power supply unit PSU. The PSU converts electrical power from an outlet into usable power from the internal components of a computer. Let's move to the question number 7. What type of storage is an STD? A. Volatile, B. Non-volatile, C. Temporary, D. Cache. The correct answer is non-volatile. STD, solid state drive, is non-volatile storage, meaning it retains data even when the computer is powered off. Let's move to the question number 8. Which component stores the firmware that boots up the system? A. RAM, B. Hard drive, C. ROM, D. CPU. The correct answer is C. ROM. ROM, read-only memory, contains firmware which is essential for booting up the computer and initializing hardware. Let's move to the question number 9. What is the main function of RAM? A. To store files permanently, B. To execute software, C. To provide temporary storage for data being used by the CPU, D. To supply power to the hardware components. The correct answer is C. To provide temporary storage for data being used by the CPU. Explanation. RAM temporarily stores data that is actively being used or processed by the CPU, enabling faster access to it. Let's move to the question number 10. Which of the following is not an input device? A. Mouse, B. Scanner, C. Printer, D. Keyboard. The correct answer is C. Printer. A printer is an output device as it provides physical output, printed documents, while the mouse, scanner and keyboard are input devices. Let's move to the question number 11. Which of the following is used for temporary data storage? A. ROM, B. RAM, C. SSD, D. HDD. The correct answer is B. RAM, random access memory, is used for the temporary data storage that is actively while the computer is running. Let's move to the question number 12. What does the heat sink do in a computer? A. Stores data, B. Protects the motherboard, C. Helps cool the CPU and GPU, and D. Provides power to the CPU. The correct answer is C. Helps cool the CPU and GPU. The heat sink is a cooling component that dissipates heat generated by the CPU and GPU to prevent overheating. Let's move to the question number 13. Which component is responsible for long-term data storage? RAM, A, B, CPU, C, hard drive or SSD, D, PSU. The correct answer is hard drive, SSD. Hard drive, HDD or solid state drive, SSD, are used for long-term data storage such as operating system, files and programs. Let's move to the question number 14. What kind of device is a mouse? A. Output device, B. Input device, C. Storage device, D. Processing device. The correct answer is input device. A mouse is an input device that allows users to interact with the computer by moving a cursor and selecting items on the screen. Let's move to the question number 15. What type of memory is used by the CPU to store frequently accessed data from quick retrieval? A. Cache memory, B. RAM, C. SSD, D. HDD. The correct answer is A. Cache memory. Cache memory is small, high-speed memory located inside or close to the CPU and stores frequently accessed data to reduce access time. Let's move to the question number 16. What is the function of the power supply unit PSU in a computer? A. To manage input and output device. B. To provide electrical power to all components. C. To store data permanently. D. To connect the CPU to the motherboard. The correct answer is B. To provide electrical power to all components. The PSU converts electricity from an outlet into usable power and distributes it to components like the motherboard, CPU, and drives. Let's move to the question number 17. Which of the following is a type of cooling system used in computers? A. Power supply. B. Heatsink. C. SSD. D. GPU. The correct answer is B. Heatsink. A heatsink is a cooling device that absorbs and dissipates heat from a critical component like the CPU or GPU to keep them an optimal temperature. Question number 18. What does HDMI stands for? High Dynamic Memory Interface. B. Hard Drive Media Interface. C. High Definition Multimedia Interface. D. High Data Memory Interface. The correct answer is C. High Definition Multimedia Interface. HDMI High Definition Multimedia Interface is a standard used for transmitting high quality video and audio signals between devices like computer and monitors. Let's move to the question number 19. Which hardware component is most critical for gaming performance? SSD, GPU, PSU, or BIOS? The correct answer is GPU-B. The GPU, graphical processing unit, is crucial for gaming as it renders high quality graphics and animation, improving overall gaming performance. Let's move to the question number 20. Which of the following devices is used to input coordinates into a computer? A. Monitor. B. Printer. C. Microphone. D. Headphones. The correct answer is C. Microphone. Let us see the explanation. A microphone is an input device used to capture audio and send it to the computer for processing or recording. Thank you very much for listening very carefully to this topic. Hopefully in future will come other topics with other topics. Please subscribe our channel. Thank you very much.